Yo, what is going on, guys? Pothead here. And today we're taking a break from the rehab series. Hey, calm down. It's still coming. It's still on the way. I just feel like I put out I think part 2 a little bit too quickly, or part 3. So if you guys haven't seen those newer videos, go check them out. They're really good, in my opinion. I need to just get this shit out because this is one of the gnarlier things that's ever happened to me, as you can probably tell from the title. And I feel like it'd be good for me to talk about it for myself mostly. So this is what we're doing. Before we get into it, I haven't plugged anything on my last few videos just because I haven't felt like I need to. But if you haven't already, like, my Instagram got deleted. So if you could go follow me on my new one, it's in the description. I'll also put it on the screen right now. And yeah, just turn me up. We're back. I died legally. Had my heart restarted. All that shit. It's gnarly. I was doing blues like bad, bro. Like there's days where I've sniffed 25 in a day. Like I would be buying like 100 packs for like a decent price, but I'd be doing them in 4 days. So I would have to go like find more while I waited for the next shipment to come in or like next script to pop. I'd spend like $1,200 a day. On blues. 3-ish months before I went into rehab, I was like, fuck it, like this shit is just not worth it. I had been at a party with my homie, like a quote unquote party. It was like a function of drug abusers. And he had told me like, yo, like low key, like that shit is just not worth the money, bro. Like try this. And I was like, what is this? And he's like, dope, fool, like it's heroin. I was like, fool, crazy. But at this point, like I didn't really like give a fuck. I should probably do a substance review on heroin. But anyways, like we'll keep that bit short because it doesn't really play into the story at all. But I tried it and I was like, it hit way harder. So like how much bread in reality would I have to be spending to like do this instead? And he's like, bro, like half a quarter. I was like, oh, like in my brain that's like, 2 + 2 = 4. Like I'm gonna fucking get way higher for less money. I can go spend bread on other shit finally. So that's what I was doing, like at the tail end of my addiction. I was still doing blues, but I was also like I was dabbling into doing heroin. And the problem with like I never IV'd heroin. I always just smoked it or sniffed it. I'm terrified of needles. So the problem with heroin these days though is that shit is almost certainly fentanyl. If it's not fentanyl, it's really like it's cut with a bunch of shit regardless. There's not really any pure heroin, cocaine, anything really left in the street market. Like there's still, like, don't get me wrong, there's still is, but it is far rarer to find anything of quality these days. I had met this girl through like a friend of a friend that I also was in this like drug scene with, and she was selling heroin. And so I was at this bitch's house like every day, every other day, just like I would go there, I'll go pick up, and then I'd just like kind of sit there. I mean, at this point, bro, like I was so like nothing else mattered to me besides getting high. Like I don't know if hopefully none of you guys are in this position, but this shit, I didn't care about anything else. So I'd just go there. We'd barely socialize, especially if I was like coming like if I didn't have anything in the morning and I was like starting to withdraw, like I would get there, I'd be so fucking mad and angry and grumpy, and I'd just like do a line, and I'd like kind of come back to life, and we'd start talking or whatever. And she was a cool girl. We'll call her Amelia. Amelia was tight. We liked a lot of the same music. We liked similar fashion and stuff. We had shared interests. But at the end of the day, like it just felt like a business relationship to me. Like it was incredibly transactional. Like she's getting money, I'm getting this product that I need. And there was never really like any real compassion, at least that I felt on my end. By the tail end of it, I was spending so much money with this girl, and I was getting there, and I would get the weird, like how I knew that I was most likely doing fentanyl is the product quality would differ so greatly in between re-ups. Like sometimes I would have to do so much of this shit, and then other times I'd do a line, I'd be like, whoa, like that shit is strong, like not out like almost instantly. It's scaring me like talking about this because like I really didn't care at this point, which is scary. On this day, honestly, like I don't know what possessed me to, because I was chilling, bro. Like I had blues, and I was like I woke up in the morning, I railed a blue. I had alienated like everyone in my life. I would get up in the mornings, I would stop my withdrawals, and then I would have like nothing to do really. My only thing in life was just like chasing this high, and it's depressing as fuck, bro. Like if I could spread any message, is just like don't let yourself get to this point. Like if you don't have an addictive personality and you can just like dibble and dabble with the perks and shit, like they're fun, bro. Like the beginning part of me doing perks was great. It was a good time. But for like what it turned into, it's not worth it in a million years. That shit ruined my life for sure. I almost died. I did die. Did these perks and I was bored as fuck. And I just got in my car and I was just driving around. And Amelia hits my line. She's like, I just re-upped. Like, come by. Like, I'll throw you a deal on a gram. And I was like, okay, bet. So I pulled up. She lived like 35 minutes away from me. She actually lived in like a nice ass building. This bitch was rich as fuck off dope. But she also worked at like honestly, I don't even remember. She worked like some retail job. But like, so for the building that she was living in, bro, like I'm surprised like that they didn't bat an eye. I wonder I should hit her up. No, I shouldn't. I wonder what she's doing though. So I pull up. There was this like guest parking lot in the bottom of her building. So I'd always just park there. And I just have to wait in the lobby for her to come down the elevator to come to me. By the time, because like I pulled up after this a few times to pick up, like this didn't deter me from doing anything. She like added my name on her like preferred guests list, so I would like pull up in this building and they'd be like, "Oh, hi Max, like go up." I was like, "Okay, bet." At this time, I still had to wait in the lobby for her to come down and get me. I'm waiting. She comes down and gets me. We go up, and I'm looking at this like I didn't even have to do this, bro. Like I had perks, like I didn't need this re-up like at all, because like my whole thing was like I'm not gonna do this shit unless I absolutely have to, you know, because like I never wanted to die, to be fair. But at a certain point it's like when you're withdrawing and shit, like you don't like, you just want that, like being dope sick, if you don't know like how that feels, it is the worst feeling in the world. You just want it to go away so bad. So I made this deal with myself, like I'm never gonna do heroin and shit unless it's my only option. But this day, like, I was just bored, bruh. Like, I didn't have to do this. It was retarded. We go in her room, she shows me, like, this re-up. It's just, like, some, like, brown-looking powder. Like, I honestly don't have much experience with heroin. I've probably done it, like, 15, 20 times. I never really got too deep in the culture or anything. I also was never shooting it, so it never became, like, a super, like, quote-unquote sacred thing to me. Like, I would either just smoke it off the foil if it was, like, tar, or if it was powder, I'd just snort it. We'd chop it up for a little bit. We're like, you know, like the super superfluous, fine. Like, I'm like, how's your day going? Like, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I'm getting down to business. Like, I'm there for like one reason only. Like, I didn't really come to kick it with you. Like, I came to fucking see what this is about. I'm bored. I want to fucking fuck my life up more, you know? I was quite self-destructive at this time in my life, I think. She chops these lines up, and I take one, she takes one. They're like pretty, the drip taste is like, that's like the other thing that I love about Oxy. The drip taste is so nice, and it's so like smooth, burning, not like burning, but just like it wasn't as like smooth. It tasted bad, and it was just like, I don't know. I deeply prefer Oxys to heroin. The government issued heroin is much better, surprisingly. You know, I do this line. I'd like sniff it. I pick my head up, I like breathe out, and I'm like, oh fuck, like. I felt that shit like almost instantaneously. Like I was feeling good for sure. I was like, you know, swaying around. Like, you know, we started listening to some music. I turned on this Lucky song. Like this Lucky song is burned into my head. It's called "You Called Me," because like it happened like when this happened. So I got down to do another line. Like we had chopped up like 3 lines for each of us. I do this other line, and I like come up, same shit. Like I'm like high as fuck. And I like lean back into the couch, and I fucking, you know, my head drops back in the couch, and I'm like, oh fuck, like this is nice. Like my body's feeling like super light, and I'm like happy and shit, and like I feel like I'm so light, like I could float, bro. And when I describe this shit to you guys, like it may sound ridiculous. Like I don't know if anyone has experiences like this. I don't know what the fuck, like maybe my brain like was, I don't know. But I literally felt my body, like my soul, I guess, for lack of a better word, like float out of my body, and I'm like rising up, and I like could almost like even like I saw myself getting closer to the ceiling, bro, and I could almost like turn and like see the room, and like I heard like I like heard her like kind of like screaming and shit, because she was like looking at me, and like I was fucking dead, bro. And like the last thing I remember seeing from this like celestial like dream state, her like frantically like on the putting shit away, everything went black, bro. Like I fell asleep type shit, you know? I just eased into a slumber. Like it's like waking up from sleeping, but it's not. It's like your eyes like blast forward with like G-force and like a white, like it's like a white screen type shit where you just like and it's like looking into like the brightest light in the world of like coming back into Earth. And they restarted my heart. Like she had called paramedics into it. They defibbed me. I guess they tried Narcaning me first. It didn't work. So I like came back to life. Literally. I was like, whoa, what the fuck is going on? And they're like, calm down. Like there's 3 paramedics in here. Like they're like, fucking everything's okay. Like you had a drug overdose. Like, you know, we need to take you to a hospital. And immediately I refused that shit. I didn't want to go to a fucking hospital. I didn't want, because at this point, like, somehow this lifestyle I was still living had been kept, like, incognito from everybody. I'm sure people were suspecting things at certain points, but there was no hard, concrete evidence of anything. People were still trying to give me the benefit of the doubt. Everyone was in denial. I wanted to keep my facade going, bro. I didn't want this shit to stop. As much as I, like, would pray every day that it would, when you're high and shit, you just want to keep that shit going. So I'm like, no, I'm good. Like, I'm straight. Like, no, we need to take you to the hospital. And, like, I'm conscious at this point. Like, I refused medical care. I refused everything. I was like, I'm going, bro. Like, thank you guys. Like, I appreciate it. But, like, don't want to go to the hospital. Straight. Really appreciate it. I ended up getting a bill later on from that shit. She sent me the bill for that little thing. It was, like, $3,000 for that whole... It would have been so much more if they had... you know, had to put me into a hospital or an ambulance, stretcher, all that shit. But I guess, like, since I got there, I was, like, essentially dead. They're just like, oh, we gotta fucking do this shit. And I have a video here of, like, me popping 2 blues. Like, literally, you can see, like, in my face how, like the colors drain. My lips are purple. Like, I was such in a bad way here. I got in my car, popped 2 more blues, and I went on home, bro. And that, like, honestly, like, I wish I could say, like, this should have been a wake-up call. This should have been so much more than it was. I didn't take this shit, like, I was taking life for granted, bro. Like, I really got a second chance here, and it didn't stop me from doing shit. I literally kept on doing the same fucking shit, bro. This is a really hard thing for me to talk about. I really hope, like, if I can say anything with this video is that don't listen to me, don't follow in my footsteps. Do not do this shit. This shit is not worth it, ever. It may seem fun, rap may seem cool, your friends may make it seem cool, but you try the shit, it is a slippery slope, bro. Stick to fucking weed, stick to everything that's lighter than this. Like, this road is not for the meek. This is a fucking hard way to live. And I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy, bro. Thank you guys for listening to me. I just need to get this off my chest. I love you guys. Thank you.